The reason most people stumble with manifestation isn't because it's complicated. It's because it's insultingly simple. You were born into a culture that worships struggle, that confuses worth with work, and effort with evidence of value. From your earliest years, you were taught that anything meaningful must be earned through exhaustion, that achievement requires suffering, that love demands pursuit, that abundance insists on sacrifice. So when something arrives that functions through ease, your entire system flinches. You don't trust it. You've been programmed to believe that the universe rewards pain, not presence. And yet, quantum creation, this strange meeting point of consciousness and physics, operates by laws that contradict everything you were taught. Traditional logic says force makes progress. Quantum intelligence whispers the opposite: resistance dissolves progress. Alignment births flow. This is not philosophy. It's the revelation that consciousness itself interacts with reality differently. When it's coherent, when all parts of you are synchronized instead of scattered. The more effortless something truly is, the more the conditioned mind fights to reject it, because your ego has been trained to measure its worth through complexity. It needs a mountain to climb just to feel alive. That's why when you glimpse how simple quantum manifestation can be, when you sense it happens through resonance rather than willpower, something inside whispers, "This can't be real." The mind demands evidence that struggle equals progress. But that's the trap. You turn an energetic state into a mental strategy. You create rituals where none are needed. You build frameworks where only frequency matters. You try to earn what was always yours by right of vibration. The universe isn't responding to your spiritual to-do list. It's responding to your signal, your coherent state of being. Most people believe that desire plus effort equals manifestation, but quantum understanding reveals something subtler. Manifestation flows through certainty, not craving. The moment you need something to happen, you've stepped outside the vibration where it already exists. So consider this: maybe the reason simplicity feels threatening isn't because it lacks power, but because it demands surrender. It asks you to release the identity that survives on effort. And when you do, you begin to glimpse the real law of creation: ease as precision, coherence as power. Ease isn't laziness, it's intelligence in motion. You felt that invitation forming in the silence between breaths at the end of the last section, that whisper suggesting that simplicity might be the higher order, not the shortcut. Let's walk through that door together. The reason ease feels unsafe is because your nervous system was wired for survival, not expansion. You were trained to associate comfort with stagnation, rest with weakness, trust with danger. So when you finally step into a frequency where things start flowing, your body misreads the signal. It thinks something's wrong. It tries to restore the old tension it once called safety. The paradox is that this very discomfort, the unease inside ease, is the threshold of transformation. In the language of quantum coherence, your consciousness is like a symphony of oscillations. Every emotion, every thought, every belief is a tone. When those tones harmonize, you create resonance, a standing wave of possibility that reality mirrors instantly. But when they clash, the sound distorts, energy scatters. The field responds not to the volume of your desire, but to the clarity of your signal. And clarity doesn't come from doing more. It comes from relaxing into alignment. Energy flows through the path of least resistance, always has, always will. Even in physics, particles follow gradients, slipping effortlessly toward coherence. That same principle applies to you. When you stop fighting yourself, when you stop doubting the simplicity of your own design, you become that effortless path. Consider how many times you've complicated your desires. You visualize, affirm, reaffirm, then question whether you did it correctly. You add layers of technique until your signal becomes tangled in its own machinery. The mind wants to engineer what the heart was built to emit naturally. It's like trying to control a song instead of letting it play. Ease doesn't mean absence of movement. It means movement without friction. It's precision born of trust. The quantum field doesn't need your micromanagement. It needs your coherence. When your energy aligns, creation accelerates without strain. The moment you stop grasping, the field can finally grasp you. Pause here and notice something subtle. Simplicity is not passive. It's a form of mastery that demands presence sharper than effort ever could. You can't fake stillness. You can't perform trust. You can only embody them. So what if you began to treat ease as a form of discipline, not the discipline of control, but of surrender, the skill of staying in resonance even when the old programming screams that you're doing nothing? Because in truth, you're doing everything that matters, aligning the internal architecture that reality will mirror. When you honor this architecture of ease, your biology begins to follow. Stress hormones decrease, intuition strengthens, and your perception widens. You start to sense the quantum feedback loop, the way the outer world rearranges itself around your inner coherence. You stop mistaking effort for evolution and start recognizing that grace is the highest technology of consciousness. The mind might not believe this yet. That's fine. Belief isn't required for frequency to function. All that's required is willingness to stay in the vibration long enough for the evidence to appear, because it will not as a miracle, but as a mirror. Ease, then, isn't the opposite of power. It's its purest form. The architecture of ease is the invisible structure that supports all coherent creation. It's what happens when the current of consciousness stops tripping over itself and begins to flow as one continuous field. And in that flow, manifestation stops being a task and becomes a natural consequence of harmony. The moment you complicate something that was meant to flow, you fracture the signal. And from the architecture of ease we just explored, this is the first place where most seekers lose coherence. The mind, hungry for proof, builds elaborate rituals and explanations around what was supposed to remain instinctive. It's not sabotage, it's self-preservation. The ego's identity depends on maintaining the illusion that effort equals control. But here's the deeper pattern: complexity isn't intelligence. It's fragmentation disguised as sophistication. Every extra rule you add to your spiritual practice, every technique you layer onto a simple truth, multiplies interference in your energetic field. Imagine trying to listen to a single pure tone while 50 other instruments play off key around it. That's what incoherence feels like: a consciousness divided against itself. In quantum terms, this scattered state weakens your broadcast. You can't collapse a reality while transmitting 10 contradictory frequencies. You say, "I trust," but you also whisper, "What if it doesn't work?" You act from abundance but think from scarcity. You meditate for clarity, then immediately question the results. The field doesn't hear your words, it reads your being. When your inner landscape is at war, creation becomes static. The signal wobbles between timelines, never quite stabilizing into form. And the irony: the harder you try to fix it, the more chaotic it becomes. Force multiplies noise. Resistance amplifies fragmentation. Simplicity, on the other hand, is coherence made visible. It's a clean note held without tremor. In your body, this feels like calm certainty, a gentle sureness that doesn't need validation. In your mind, it feels like clarity without questions. And in your field, it feels like magnetism without effort. Consider this: every major breakthrough in science, art, or innovation arrived not from complexity, but from elegant reduction. The moment someone said, "What if it's simpler?" that same intelligence flows through you. The universe itself is structured through simple harmonies, spin and charge, wave and particle, inhale and exhale. Complexity only appears when perception fragments. So how do you unfragment yourself? Start by noticing where your energy argues with itself. When you catch an internal contradiction wanting ease while fearing its consequences, pause. Don't correct it. Observe it until it dissolves. Coherence doesn't come from fighting resistance. It emerges when resistance is seen clearly enough to release. Now, think of your consciousness as a lens. Every belief, emotion, and memory is a layer of glass. The more layers, the more distortion. But remove the fog, and light passes through effortlessly. That's coherence, not perfection, but transparency. The clearer the lens, the stronger the beam. Complexity also hides emotional fragmentation. The survival mind believes that if it keeps you busy solving problems, it can protect you from vulnerability. But that mental noise keeps you vibrating at partial capacity. You become like a radio between stations broadcasting potential but never music. Here's the paradox that liberates you: the simpler your signal, the faster your reality shifts. Because coherence doesn't require magnitude, it requires unity. Even minimal energy, when perfectly aligned, can move mountains. In physics, a laser is nothing more than light waves moving in sync, coherent photons amplifying each other. Your consciousness operates the same way. The path forward isn't adding more practices. It's subtracting everything that divides you. Complexity says, I must do more. Simplicity says, I already am. And when that awareness stabilizes, you stop chasing manifestation and start becoming the manifestation. Let that realization settle. Feel how your breath begins to slow. Feel how silence itself becomes an ally. Because this is the moment the field starts to listen not to your words, but to your coherence. And in that still, unified signal, creation can finally hear you clearly. You felt it at the end of the last section, that pause when the noise fell away and clarity stood alone. That's where simplicity begins to reveal its precision. The world has told you that to be powerful, you must be complicated. But the universe was built on elegant equations, subtle balances, effortless harmonies. In quantum mechanics, simplicity isn't emptiness. It's alignment so exact that no energy is wasted. And here's the great inversion: the simpler your signal, the more powerful it becomes. Force disperses, but coherence concentrates. A single beam of aligned light becomes a laser. A single mind in alignment becomes a creator. Effort, on the other hand, scatters intention like dust in wind. Think of the way water flows. It never argues with gravity. It simply finds the lowest point of resistance and moves. The tighter you grip, the more turbulence you create. Yet when you release control, when you let the current guide you, the journey becomes smooth, swift, almost sentient. That's the path of least resistance, not avoidance, but intimacy with nature's intelligence. Simplicity doesn't mean absence of action. It means every movement is necessary. No excess, no strain. A master musician doesn't play more notes, they play the right ones. Precision is their language. And so it is with consciousness. When your thoughts, emotions, and expectations strike the same chord, the quantum field responds instantly, not because you've earned it, but because you've harmonized with it. This is why simplicity feels like truth when you encounter it. Truth vibrates cleanly. It doesn't require defending or convincing. It simply is. The mind, however, distrusts this stillness. It wants drama, proof, equations to calculate worth. It can't believe that life could bend in your favor without being wrestled into submission. But watch nature. Trees don't force growth. They align with light. A seed doesn't strategize, it unfolds. Precision is not control, it's the absence of wasted motion. The universe operates by the same law. It doesn't strain to expand. It expands through rhythm, through coherence. Imagine if your consciousness moved like that, not through pushing, but through precision. You'd stop leaking energy into analysis and begin channeling it into direction. You'd stop trying to be everywhere and start being exactly where you're needed. Manifestation, then, becomes less about asking and more about aiming. Here's a practice when you feel scattered. Don't try to fix the chaos. Instead, ask, what can be simplified right now? One question, one intention, one signal. You'll feel the static fade almost immediately, because coherence is precision, and precision doesn't tolerate confusion. The truth is, the universe doesn't respond to effort. It responds to exactness. It mirrors whatever vibration is clearest, not loudest. That's why stillness works better than strain. Stillness carries a pure tone, free of contradiction. This realization changes everything. When you stop glorifying difficulty, when you see simplicity as mastery, your entire system reorients. Your nervous system relaxes. Your intuition sharpens. Your timing becomes uncanny. You begin to move like life itself, not reacting, but resonating. And that's the quiet revolution, understanding that the highest power lies not in accumulation, but in refinement. Every time you simplify, you increase precision. Every time you release noise, you amplify signal. And when signal becomes pure, creation becomes exact. This is the heartbeat of quantum manifestation: coherence as elegance, simplicity as strength. You don't need to push, you need to tune. And once you do, you'll discover that the universe has been waiting, poised, to reflect your precision all along. That precision you just felt like a quiet click in your awareness isn't mental, it's physical. It lives in the pulse under your skin, in the rhythm of your breath, in the subtle language of your nervous system. The mind can understand coherence, but only the body can broadcast it. This is the bridge between theory and embodiment, the point where quantum becomes cellular. Every thought you hold translates into chemistry. Every emotion becomes a frequency pattern that ripples through the tissues, reorganizing the magnetic field around your heart. Science may describe this as bioelectromagnetism, but you can experience it directly. When you feel gratitude, warmth spreads through the chest, the heart's rhythm stabilizes, the mind softens. That's coherence taking form. When you feel fear or urgency, the signal splinters, the body tightens, breath shortens, and the field fragments. So the real question isn't what am I thinking, but what is my body saying? Your mind may affirm abundance, but if your shoulders are clenched and your gut feels like stone, the field receives two different messages. That's energetic dissonance. The signal can't stabilize until every part of you agrees. To manifest consciously, you must become a unified transmitter. The body isn't the obstacle, it's the amplifier. When mind, heart, and breath operate in harmony, you radiate a coherent field, one strong enough to bend probabilities toward your intention. This isn't mystical exaggeration, it's resonance in action. Notice how, in moments of deep peace, synchronicities multiply. People call at the right time, opportunities align. Intuition feels instantaneous. That's not luck. That's your embodied signal broadcasting clearly through the quantum field. The external world rearranges itself to match your internal rhythm. Here's where it becomes practical. Start with stillness, not to escape thought, but to listen. Feel where tension hides. Don't force it to relax. Invite it. When the body feels safe, the field harmonizes. When the field harmonizes, reality organizes. Safety is coherence's doorway. You've been taught that action creates momentum, but in embodied manifestation, regulation creates it. A regulated nervous system can hold high frequencies without collapsing into doubt. This is why healing and manifestation are twins. Both are acts of coherence, restoration. Try this simple experiment. Take one slow breath in, longer than you usually allow, and exhale twice as long. That pattern tells your body, "We're safe." Instantly, your electromagnetic field shifts. Do that often enough, and your reality follows. The mind might not understand how, but the field doesn't need explanation. It only needs instruction through feeling. The truth is, your frequency is not just shaped by your thoughts. It's shaped by how those thoughts move through muscle, breath, and tone. Each heartbeat is an affirmation, each exhale, a command to the field. Manifestation is physical poetry, written in rhythm and reception. When you move from this embodied coherence, decisions become effortless. You'll notice that the right timing is less about patience and more about resonance. Your body knows before your mind confirms. It becomes impossible to act out of alignment because dissonance feels unbearable. This is the beginning of energetic mastery, learning to trust the sensations that once made you doubt, to feel expansion as safety, not threat, to interpret ease not as complacency, but as communication from the universe saying, "You're in tune now." Let yourself absorb this truth. Your body is not merely the vessel of manifestation, it is the signal itself. When you stop separating spiritual alignment from physical presence, you collapse the gap between desire and reality. You stop trying to manifest from your head and start becoming the broadcast through your heartbeat. And that's when the field listens, because it finally recognizes you as one of its own frequencies. That last pulse, that recognition that your body is the broadcast, carry it forward. Because once embodiment stabilizes, something extraordinary unfolds. You begin to feel as though what you desire has already happened. Not imagined, not hoped for, already. This is where manifestation crosses the line from belief into knowing. The human mind loves timelines. It asks when, how, and how long. But the quantum field doesn't organize by chronology. It organizes by frequency. Time, from its perspective, is just a coordinate of vibration. So the moment you align with the state of already, reality collapses around that alignment. Desire, as most people experience it, is coded with absence. It declares, "I don't yet have," but the already state holds no tension. It emits completion. The irony is that this frequency of fulfillment is what allows the manifestation to appear. In the field, coherence equals existence. You don't pull your future closer. You tune into the signal where it already plays. This isn't pretending, it's remembering. Because if all timelines exist simultaneously, as many physicists now suggest, then every possibility already lives somewhere in the quantum stack. Your job is to stabilize the one that matches your chosen vibration. You don't create it, you select it. Pause and feel that difference. Creation implies distance between you and the outcome. Selection implies unity. The moment you choose and align, the field reorganizes around that choice. You begin to notice synchronicities not as signs of progress, but as echoes of the reality that's already unfolding through you. This shift feels subtle but seismic. It's the same energy you sense in moments of deep intuition, those instants when you just know something before it happens. That knowing isn't prediction, it's recognition. You've temporarily tuned into the timeline where the event has already occurred. To live from the already state is to move as if you are the future version of yourself, without forcing the costume, without fantasy, just coherence. The mind might call it imagination, but to the quantum field, imagination is instruction. You're sculpting resonance through thought, feeling, and physiology. You'll know you've entered the state when effort loses meaning. You stop asking, "When will it come?" because you feel the vibration of "it's here." There's nothing to wait for, only to align with. This is why childlike play is such a potent manifesting force. Children naturally live in the already. They pretend with such sincerity that the body believes, and the field follows. So, how do you practice this? Begin every morning by remembering the version of you who already has what you're seeking. Don't visualize possession, visualize being. Notice how they breathe, how they think, how they walk through space. Then simply mirror that energy until the distinction between them and you dissolves. The line vanishes, only frequency remains. At first, your mind may protest. It will say, but it's not real yet. That's fine, let it speak. The field doesn't need mental consent, it needs vibrational consistency. Eventually, evidence will appear not because you forced it, but because coherence became too strong to ignore. When you live as the already, you begin to realize something. Sacred manifestation is not about adding to yourself, but revealing what was hidden by doubt. You're not calling something in, you're collapsing everything that said it couldn't be. And perhaps that's the deepest simplicity of all. Reality doesn't respond to your timeline, it responds to your tone. The moment your tone becomes steady, certain, calm, coherent, the universe harmonizes with it instantly. So the invitation now is to stop reaching, stop hoping, start remembering. You are not waiting for your future. You are standing in it, breathing it, shaping it with every heartbeat. And the field, sensing your coherence, finally whispers back the truth. It's been holding all along. It was never later, it was always now. That phrase, "it was always now," is more than poetic. It's physics spoken through spirit. Because if all realities coexist, then every desire you've ever felt is already connected to you through what quantum thinkers call entanglement. Two particles, once linked, remain in instantaneous communication no matter the distance. Change one, and the other responds. It's as if the universe whispers between them, unbroken by time or space. Now imagine that your desire is one of those particles. The moment it arises in your consciousness, a quantum connection forms. You and that outcome become two expressions of the same field. They are not separate, they are reflections, entangled halves of one vibration. But here's the paradox: the more you treat your desire as something out there, the more you reinforce the illusion of distance. Every thought of "I need" stretches the thread thinner. Every act of trying to attract tells the field, "I'm separate from it." The field simply mirrors that belief. It doesn't judge, it reflects. That's why the universe can feel indifferent, not because it doesn't care, but because it's a perfect mirror. It can only show you what you already are. So if you radiate separation, it reflects waiting. If you embody wholeness, it reflects arrival. Entanglement is nature's way of showing us that connection precedes communication. You don't send a signal to the universe, you are the signal. The outcome isn't summoned, it's synchronized. Pause and picture this: two tuning forks set side by side. Strike one, and the other vibrates without touch. That's entanglement in miniature. Your desire vibrates in harmony with the version of you that already lives it. When you align with that version through thought, emotion, and embodied presence, the vibration becomes undeniable. The fork responds, the reality moves. This is why forcing never works. When you try to control the field, you're operating from the assumption of separation. But when you relax into resonance, the connection strengthens naturally. You stop pushing and start transmitting. To practice this, reframe how you think about your goals. Don't say, "I want to find love." Whisper, "I'm aligning with the frequency where love already exists." Don't declare, "I will become abundant." Breathe, "I'm entangled with abundance now." Feel the subtle difference. One is distance, the other is unity. and the mirror field responds instantly to unity. It doesn't need ceremony, it needs coherence. The moment your internal vibration matches the timeline you seek, that timeline becomes visible. Coincidences multiply, but they're not random. Their resonance made visible, quantum echoes collapsing into experience. The deeper truth is that entanglement exists not just between you and your desires, but between all living systems. Consciousness is one field, expressing infinite forms of itself. So when you align with ease, you contribute coherence to the collective field. Others around you start finding peace without knowing why. A single vibration of wholeness reorganizes chaos far beyond your own life. Entanglement, then, is empathy at the quantum scale. What you heal in yourself transmits instantly through the invisible threads of connection that weave this reality together. Your clarity becomes contagious. Your coherence becomes communal. But remember, the mirror field cannot show you what you deny. If you insist that simplicity is weakness, life will dutifully display struggle. If you declare that ease is natural, life will mirror elegance. The field has no preference, it has precision. It reflects the vibration you stabilize, not the words you speak. So as you move forward, begin to observe your reality not as something to fix, but as feedback. Every event, every delay, every synchronicity is your reflection, a mirror polished by your frequency. You are entangled with every possibility. Choose the vibration carefully, because the field is listening. And when you finally see the mirror not as opposition, but as collaboration, you'll understand the secret the mystics and scientists have always shared. Nothing you seek is outside you. It's all resonance waiting to be recognized. You can feel it now, the quiet resonance between you and the field that mirrors you. But how do you strengthen that connection until it becomes unbreakable? Not through movement, through stillness. Stillness is not the absence of motion, it is the presence of alignment. When the mind stops scrambling for control, when the body stops rehearsing its old survival patterns, you slip beneath the surface noise into the current that's always been carrying you. That current is coherence itself. The irony is that most people fear stillness more than struggle. Stillness exposes what the noise was, hiding the unprocessed emotion, the buried grief, the silent ache for control. So they keep moving not because they love action, but because they fear meeting themselves. But the quantum field, like water, can only reflect a still surface. Turbulence distorts the image. Clarity arrives when you become calm enough to see what's been there all along. When you enter genuine stillness, your brain waves slow from the frantic beta of overthinking into the alpha and theta states, where intuition awakens. The nervous system shifts from fight or flight into rest and repair. In that physiological coherence, the veil between thought and manifestation thins. You begin to feel guidance rather than seek it. You hear the whisper of what's next before your mind formulates the question. This is why meditation, breathwork, or even silent walking under open sky can catalyze quantum change. They're not rituals of escape, they're return. They remind your system what safety feels like without the armor of effort. And safety, paradoxically, is the most magnetic frequency in the universe. A regulated system says to the field, "I'm ready to receive." Stillness doesn't stop creation, it stabilizes it. It gives your signal consistency. It's what allows the scattered waves of your attention to phase into a single frequency, amplifying until reality has no choice but to match. Remember the tuning fork. Stillness is the moment before you strike it, the poised silence that makes resonance possible. But don't confuse stillness with stagnation. Stillness has motion inside it, subtle and intelligent. like the moment between inhale and exhale where life holds itself before continuing. That's where power gathers. It's where every potential waits, folded in silence. Here's a practice: sit quietly and imagine your desires not as goals to chase, but as frequencies already humming in the background. As you breathe, picture your heartbeat syncing with those vibrations. No effort, no command, just synchronization. Feel how the edges between me and it start to dissolve. That stillness transforming into access. In this state, action becomes an afterthought. You don't have to calculate. The next step reveals itself organically. The body moves because the field moves through it. Timing becomes intuition, not analysis. You find yourself saying the right words at the right moment, not by planning, but by resonance. And when you step out of stillness, life feels orchestrated. Coincidence turns into choreography. The same way waves gather behind a boat, reality begins to align behind your vibration. That's not magic, it's physics in flow. Stillness, then, isn't the end of manifestation. It's the beginning of mastery. It's where the noise of how fades and the knowing of already emerges. Every great creation, every invention, revelation, or awakening was born in someone who dared to be silent long enough to listen. So let yourself fall into that space. Don't try to fill it. Don't narrate it. Let the silence shape you. Because in stillness, you stop asking the universe for signs and start hearing what it's been saying all along. You were never disconnected. You were just loud. From stillness, something inevitable awakens, not silence, but song. The vibration that was always within you begins to hum again, steady, resonant, undeniable. And now you're not merely tuning into the field, you're transmitting it. You become the broadcast itself. Every coherent being, every person who embodies what they once chased, emits a signal strong enough to reorganize the space around them. You've met those people, the ones who seem to walk through life effortlessly, timing, aligning, opportunities orbiting like iron to a magnet. They don't try to manifest, they remember who they are, and the field adjusts accordingly. To become the broadcast is to live as the transmission, not the request. You no longer send out signals of want. You radiate the vibration of already. Words lose weight because presence speaks louder. People sense it without knowing why. They call it confidence, grace, magnetism, but beneath the language, it's coherence made visible. Here's the secret: manifestation stops being something you do the moment you embody what you are. You become the frequency others unconsciously calibrate to. This is why spiritual teachers throughout time could transform environments simply by entering them. Their coherence was contagious, but let's demystify it. You don't need robes or rituals to broadcast. You only need consistency. A steady emotional tone that doesn't waver when conditions shift. The universe loves rhythm heartbeats, tides, planetary orbits, and when your inner rhythm matches that constancy, your influence becomes gravitational. So ask yourself, what am I broadcasting right now? Not what I intend, not what I affirm, what I am. Because every thought, every reaction, every sigh sends a frequency into the field. The field doesn't differentiate between casual self-criticism and serious intention. It mirrors everything. When you understand this, alignment becomes not a practice but a responsibility. But don't let that word scare you. Responsibility simply means the ability to respond consciously, coherently, consistently. To adjust your frequency the way a musician retunes an instrument mid-performance, staying in harmony with the song of your life. As you become this living broadcast, something profound shifts. You stop chasing evidence of your power because your existence becomes the evidence. Synchronicities lose their novelty because they're no longer surprises, they're confirmations. Reality flows not to you, but through you. And here's the hidden beauty: this broadcast isn't limited to personal gain. When your coherence stabilizes, it radiates outward like ripples on a still lake. Others near you start to breathe easier. Conversations soften, spaces feel lighter. That's collective entrainment, the quantum version of empathy. The universe itself is tuning through you. You are not just manifesting a life, you are reprogramming a field. The signal of wholeness you emit makes it easier for others to remember their own. This is how evolution happens, not through struggle, but through resonance. If you ever doubt your impact, remember this coherence doesn't need an audience to be effective. A single tuning fork can set an entire room of instruments vibrating in harmony. So can you. Becoming the broadcast is not about volume. It's about clarity. It's about standing so fully in your frequency that the world has no choice but to match it. You stop waiting for change and realize you are the change, the living signal, the embodied coherence. So breathe, let your chest expand. Feel your heartbeat syncing with that universal pulse. You're not sending energy anywhere. You're allowing the infinite to express itself through the finite you. And when you walk from this awareness, the ordinary becomes miraculous. Not because reality has changed, but because you finally have. You've become the message the universe has been trying to send all along. You can sense it, the quiet resonance that lingers after embodiment. That feeling that you're not the only one vibrating like this, because you're not. Every time one being reaches coherence, the entire field brightens. It's invisible, but it's real, the pulse of unity spreading like ripples through consciousness itself. This is the unseen architecture of awakening collective coherence. It's what happens when individuals stop radiating from fear and start broadcasting from truth. Each aligned frequency becomes a tuning fork for the next, until the air itself starts to hum with remembrance. What was once a personal practice becomes a planetary vibration. Think of it like this: one drop of dye in clear water diffuses until the whole glass shifts hue. One coherent heart can recalibrate a room. One unified mind can rewrite the emotional climate of a family. Expand that outward, imagine millions remembering their frequency of ease, releasing struggle as identity. The planet itself begins to entrain to a higher rhythm. Science calls this field entrainment systems, aligning their oscillations through shared resonance. Mystics call it communion, but the experience is the same. Separation dissolves, and we begin to move as one organism of light and intention. This isn't utopia, it's biology. When you regulate your nervous system, the electromagnetic field around your heart synchronizes with others nearby. Their bodies feel safer, their breath deepens, their thoughts soften. That's coherence transmitting in real time. You don't even have to speak. Your presence does the teaching. And the miracle is that collective coherence doesn't require perfection. It multiplies through authenticity, not authority. Every time you choose honesty over performance, calm over control, love over fear, you strengthen the shared frequency of remembrance. You become a node of harmony in the grid of humanity. Perhaps that's why you found this message not as coincidence, but as confirmation. You are part of the subtle network of those remembering that effort is not evolution's fuel, alignment is. We are moving from the age of force into the age of flow, from striving to synchronizing, from isolation to resonance. When you start seeing life this way, ordinary acts transform into sacred transmissions. A conversation becomes a calibration. A single deep breath in a crowded space can reset the entire atmosphere. You realize leadership isn't about influence, but coherence, the ability to remain still in truth, while the collective field reorients around it. And the more of us who live this way, the faster the noise dissolves. Complexity collapses back into clarity. Humanity becomes a living broadcast of remembrance, billions of heartbeats, syncing to one underlying rhythm. Ease is intelligence. Coherence is power. Love is structure. So, yes, your personal alignment matters not because it makes your life easier, though it will, but because it changes the tone of reality itself. You're not a single signal lost in static. You're part of the great frequency returning home to itself. As this awareness settles, you may notice something simple yet profound: the urge to help, to teach, to share, not from duty, but from resonance. That's the field expanding through you, seeking more coherence, more recognition. Follow that impulse. Every act of peace is an act of creation. Every surrender to simplicity is a revolution in the field, and this is where the journey comes full circle. The simplicity you once doubted as too easy reveals itself as the most advanced form of intelligence in existence. Consciousness remembering its own design. You were never meant to struggle for manifestation. You were meant to remember you are it. Breathe that in. You've become part of the quiet uprising of coherence, the movement that doesn't shout, but radiates. The transformation that doesn't demand, but demonstrates. The unity that doesn't need to begin, because it's always been. The resonance is quieter now. Not because it's fading, because it's home. The signal you've been learning to stabilize has stopped reaching outward and begun resting inward. You've become your own evidence. Take a moment to notice the simplicity of this. No steps to follow, no energy to chase, just a clear field where you and the universe breathe together. That's coherence. That's the real manifestation, presence without pressure. Remember where this began. You were taught that effort equals worth, that force creates results, that simplicity couldn't possibly hold the same power as struggle. But the truth has been whispering all along. The universe doesn't respond to your effort. It mirrors your ease. It doesn't measure how hard you try. It listens to how clearly you vibrate. Now you understand why simplicity felt impossible. It demanded surrender, not strategy. It asked you to stop performing improvement and start embodying wholeness. It invited you to live as the broadcast instead of the request. As this awareness settles in, breathe slowly. Each exhale is an alignment. Each inhale, a reminder. You are not separate from what you seek. You are the consciousness through which it seeks expression. From this place, manifestation loses its mystique. It becomes as natural as gravity. The field responds because you've become transparent to it. No static, no strain, just transmission. And this is the quiet miracle that will follow you long after the words fade, the realization that creation isn't something you perform, it's something you remember. Every moment you choose stillness over noise, coherence over complexity, presence over pursuit. The quantum field responds in kind. So let this be your closing vibration, soft, steady, certain. You are allowed to receive with ease. You are allowed to move without struggle. You are allowed to remember that simplicity was never the enemy. It was the design. If you carry one truth forward from all of this, let it be this: you were never waiting for the universe to deliver anything. It was waiting for you to stop resisting everything. Now, breathe once more, gently. Feel the space between breaths. That quiet, that stillness. That's the pulse of the field itself. Stay there a little longer. Let it speak without words. Let it remind you of what you've always been. Because in the end, you don't manifest reality. You harmonize with it. You don't chase what's meant for you. You remember that it's already here. You are coherence. You are the simplicity the world forgot. You are the field remembering itself.